We will now conclude our lessons with how JavaScript can enhance forms. Form enhancement can make the forms easier to use. Validating the form lets users correct their data before it is sent to the server. This may be one of the things a lot of people take for granted. Client-side validation helps the user see what they are submitting is correct. It also helps the server in only processing good data. Don't forget, the server should also validate any data coming to it. Before validation techniques were developed, almost all validation happened server-side, meaning the user would type out their info, hit submit, then wait for the server to tell them if it was correct or not. We'll now look at a few of the techniques to enhance forms. Form enhancements. So we're going to look at the submit event here. So in chapter 13, submit event HTML. Here's HTML for it. We have some utilities, and let's see which one we're going to look at. Submit event JS. So we declare, this is an instant function. So we declare var form equals document element by ID login. So we're going to do the login form. We're going to use this utility function, add event form. Submit function will prevent the default. We'll get the elements of this form. Username will be the elements.username.value, and the message equals welcome username, and we will document ID main. So if we look at the HTML, where is main? Type it out, main, it's right here. We will add the message there, which should overwrite the form. Okay. So here we go. Let's put some breakpoints in there, I believe. Let's see. Username and there. Joe, and anything for the password. I'm going to hit login. That means should be blinking. Okay, we've got the form. The elements is not defined. It'll be defined after this step. And there we go. Elements defined. And we see we have a couple elements. We have the field set, input username, input password, and then just password's that, and username is that. Next step, we want to get the elements, username, value. And so if you look carefully, you'll see it says the elements.username.value is Joe. If I continue, username is Joe, message has not been defined, but in the next step, it will say welcome, Joe. And at this step, the message has become welcome, Joe. If we look at our page, nothing has happened yet. I'm going to hit continue. And there we go. Welcome, Joe. So that is handling the submit event. And if we look at the input type, let's go here, input type, and the input type JS. So we're going to get the password and the show passwords. Checkbox, get checkbox, show password. Add event, check, change. So when the user clicks on the checkbox, this one here, so let me type a password in there. And then if I click show password, it changes the input's type to regular text. So what it does, var target, e target, or e source element, try. If the target is checked, then the type, the field is text, else it's type password. And if there is some type of error, then we're going to alert the user that this browser doesn't support switching types. I'm not sure which browser would do that, probably an older browser. So you can see that here. If I put a breakpoint, let's see. Here and here would be good breakpoints. I'm gonna click, got some blinking down here. Target is undefined, so target. It doesn't help us here, but we know password is there. And the target checked equals true. And is it? Yes. So right now, that's right. So if I hold over my mouse over here, you'll see password.type equals password. But this part is true. And let me see, where can I catch it? I won't be able to catch outside of this. Can I put one here? Put one there. No. Okay, it did catch that. So I can catch it and see that it has changed to text, and on screen it has changed to text. And so that's how you can switch this input back and forth between a password type and a regular input text. And here we go, disable the submit button. Submit button is disabled. Let's take a look at that. So disable submit HTML and disable submit JS. And here we go. We're going to get the form, the password, and the submit button. And our submitted false. Has the form been submitted? Submit.disable true. Here's where submit button is disabled via JavaScript, and we're going to give it class name disabled, which probably adds this nice effect here. Let me zoom in, watch the mouse go over, and you get this little icon, and the color is a little bit gray. So on input, so password input, the target or the source element, and submit.disable equal submitted or the target value. If the form has been submitted or password has no value, set CSS to disabled. So let's see if it likes empty spaces. It doesn't care that there's empty spaces, but now you can submit the form. Password is all those spaces. And we have another thing here, add event form. So once the form is submitted, this button is disabled, and you cannot enter a new password to submit again. And a common thing to do is a counter for text area. So text area counter, let's see, up to 140 characters. So it looks like we're sending a tweet. So look, text counter. Oh, text area counter HTML. Let's see, span, bio count, class hide. So it's hidden at the beginning, and we'll open up this JavaScript file. So the biography is here, the text. The bio count is here. Get element by ID bio count, character count. Add event bio on focus, update the counter, and add event bio input, update the counter. And then on blur, if the bio.value is less than equal to 140, the bio class equals hide. If the bio is not too long. Okay, and here's the function to update the counter. We get the target, where count equals 140 minus the target.value.length. So how many characters are in there? So even spaces count as characters. I type quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Let me increase that. You can see how many characters left, and I will copy and paste that. And look at that. If you go negative, gives a little warning and changes this to a negative. And go one over, CSS changes, which we'll see right here. If the count less than 0, class error. Everything here. If the count is less than 15, warning. Else the class is good. And for messages, characters, and bio count in HTML equals this message we create here. Breakpoint here and here, and let's start. I did something, so now it already fired. Okay. So the count is less than 1. Continue. Oh, that just went out of there. Okay. Oh, it's flashing. So count less than 15. That's not less than 15, so it goes down here. Class name good. And then we create the character message and the bio count in HTML. So good. And 140 showed up. Oh, that fired another event. I think it's this blur and focus events firing. Okay, so I'm gonna end the debugger here. That you've seen a couple of the ways we can use form enhancement to improve your website.